My name is Brittany Spence. I am the executive director and co-founder of the Forrest Spence Fund. A little after 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, our lives were forever changed. Through those 2 months of day in and day out of living in a hospital, we experienced such highest of highs and lowest of lows. But not only did our own story with Forrest leave such a lasting impression on David and I, but it was the stories of others. It was those that came day after day to fight for their children, as they had numerous other children that they also were having at home or with grandparents or with aunts and uncles or at daycares. It was the single mothers and single fathers. It was those that had full-time jobs, and just because they came to the hospital to visit their child, they lost their jobs. It was those that we saw the strain of childhood illness on their faces and on the way that the heavy footsteps that they had, that changed us, that we knew we had to do something more. And so the morning after Forrest died, we met with a donor-advised fund, and we started the Forrest Spence Fund. Our tagline is empathy, understanding, hope, because we can empathize. We sat in that rocking chair, rocking next to our son for 55 days as he fought for his life. We cried more tears than you can ever imagine in 2 months, and we celebrated what others would think it was a small thing was huge to us. We can understand. We know what it's like to get bad news and good news, and for your whole life to be turned upside down in 1 second, 1 moment, your whole life changed forever. And then we can offer hope, whether that hope is in a friendly face, a warm smile, a warm meal, a gas card, or it's more of a large financial grant, or it's helping you go to counseling, or it's providing things for the hospital so your needs are better met. But we can also offer hope, and hope that even if the worst thing imaginable happens to you, you can survive it, because we will not let you be alone. We will walk with you.
My name is Rob Beccaro.
My name is Laura Beccaro.
And we have 3 kids.
My name's Renee.
I'm Robert.
And this is Skylar, our little girl.
My name is Christy.
My name is Brian.
And this is Elena, our daughter Elena. And she's 2 years old. Our medical journey began with Elena December 8th, 2021. And she was running a fever for 9 days. I took her to the doctor. They did more blood work to confirm that she did have AML leukemia, which is related to her trisomy 21 diagnosis. So she was, we had a birth diagnosis with her for trisomy 21.
It's no news that a parent ever wants to hear. So when he said it, you're kind of in disbelief, and then you just sort of just draw a blank and you start processing things. You start praying. We did a lot of that, and then you don't have much time to pack your bags and get over to the hospital. So that December 8th was a big day for us, and probably one of the toughest that we've ever experienced in our lives.
Blake was our second pregnancy, and everything was going along as normal, and we went to our 20-week ultrasound.
They didn't know exactly what was happening at the time.
Yeah, they just always told us that we wouldn't know more until he was born. Like, when he's born, then you'll know if his lungs will work. And so every week we would go for ultrasound and just be like, is it any different? Is there anything different? And it was always the same.
Our journey with Skylar began May 7th. She was 2 months preemie. I had preeclampsia, so that brought her into the world way earlier than we expected. So they immediately just whipped her straight off and got her set up so that she would make her journey.
So there's 2 different types. There's AML and ALL. She had AML, so they had to treat her with chemo more aggressively for extensive time periods. So She had 4 cycles of chemotherapy, and each cycle that she had, she was monitored in the hospital for a month at a time. So we would go to the hospital, stay for, have chemo treatment, stay for, 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, get a break, go home for a couple weeks, then get readmitted for another whole month. And so this went on over a 6-month period. So
she was discharged to come home Memorial Day.
yes,
So that's
Day
when our
of
family,
this year, May.
yeah, that's when all 5 of us got to be back together in the same house.
So we carried him to term. He was always breech. When it came time, they took me in just for a scheduled C-section at 39 weeks. But I had all along just been like, please don't make us have to have hard decisions. Like, don't let it go to a place where we will have to make big decisions. Just let it be so clear. And so he just from the get-go was really was sick, was immediately on full support, and they just knew from very instantly. They were just like, he's not going to live. His lungs are not big enough to sustain life.
I'll never forget the experience of locking eyes with him, and almost like there was this shared sense of panic. And but that was a very cherished time. Basically a day, 24 hours.
Our nurses took such amazing care of us and him, and they brought him to us, and we were able to hold him and spend they brought him to us, and so he passed away in our arms, which is really sweet. Even when I'm telling the story now, I feel like I can remember feeling so numb and half parts how are we gonna make this?
So we started in the labor and delivery in Vanderbilt, where she was taken to the Stallsworth NICU. She stayed there for a week or 2, where she then graduated between the rooms and the NICU to go to being in her own room in the Children's Wing Hospital, where she stayed until she left. But this whole process, she was only a month old when she came home. The Forrest Spence Fund helped me dramatically. I wasn't prepared the way that I was expecting to get to be prepared. But on top of not being able to be prepared, my job put me on a unpaid maternity leave. I had no way to keep up my bills once I went on a maternity leave, and I wasn't ready to go on maternity leave yet. So there was nothing holding my bills down. The hospital helped reach out to the Forrest Spence, and they helped us get that together so that I could pay my month's rent. And I took that, and then I took the rest of it and put it towards gas for running around. So I had to take them breast milk every day, pretty much, so that she would have something to put in her bottles.
And, luckily, they were able to help relieve some of the stress that we were having from everything being so sudden. And very, very thankful that we were able to get that help. I don't know where we would have been if we didn't receive it. So we're very, very thankful for the help that we received.
The Forrest Spence Fund impacted our family positively in many ways. When you get the diagnosis and the news that we got for our child, the level of fear, the level of stress, the level of anxiety is just through the roof. And the last thing you want to be worried about is finances. And both of us were on extended leaves of absence from work. Income wasn't coming in for a good bit of time. And the Forrest Spence Fund just helped us to alleviate some of that stress, so that we purchased things like gas, and we bought groceries for our kids and meals, and we kept it to necessities. So it helped us through a tight financial pinch. It really did. We're very blessed and thankful for that. Our social worker introduced us to we didn't even know it existed, and we were just so blessed and just Since then, of course, we've looked into what's on the website, and we've just kind of researched and done our homework about the origin of the foundation and what all that they stand for and who they try to help. And just the mission of the Forrest Spence Fund is just amazing, and we're just blessed to be recipients of it.
The counseling that we received because of the Forrest Spence Fund was something that we couldn't have thought up on our own. It provided us a space to grieve, not just by ourselves, but together. It provided us, honestly, like an opportunity to take what is the most tragic thing that will ever happen to us and kind of connect us more than we would have ever been connected in the first place.
My name is Laurel Moses. I'm the Nashville director of the Forrest Spence Fund. I'm married to Matt, and we have 5 children. Nora, our first baby, was born in 2011. She was stillborn. Then we have Maddie B, Henry, Eleanor, and Fletcher. The Forrest Spence Fund has been dear to me from the beginning because of my friendship with Brittany and David, and knowing all that they went through with Forrest. When Nora passed away, it became a really sweet way to honor her legacy and her life, and give to other families who are experiencing grief and pain and all that comes with either losing a child or going through the illness of a child. I believe the Forrest Spence Fund is such a worthy organization to support because of the many ways that we are able to touch families and children who are dealing with illness. The reality is that at some point, all of us are going to be affected by childhood illness and or loss. And whether it's happened to you or not already, this is a really, really significant way to either honor someone you love, honor someone who has struggled, or give back, because we're all going to be affected. We really are able to come alongside families and find out their specific needs, which could be very different from any other family that we've helped before. A neat thing about our organization is that we can serve any family with any child with any diagnosis, and we're not limited in that. So it's really important to us that we learn about their journey and what would best support them. If you want to learn more about the Forrest Spence Fund, you can check out our website at Forrest with 2 R's, SpenceFund.org, or follow us on all of the social media platforms.